Hey guys, welcome back to Shop Foreman Garage. This is a remanufactured transmission. It is a dual clutch transmission. This is a dual clutch set and a bearing set. And yeah, we are going to replace the transmission, dual clutch transmission. We're going to put a new clutch in it, and we're going to have to replace our, we're going to have to adjust the actuator assembly for the dual clutch. And we're going to be doing this on this 2023 Kia Niro. Yeah, so this vehicle has 104,000 miles on it. And the transmission is making some really bad noise. You drive it forward, drive it back, it's making a noise. And I'll put a video of what this noise sounds like. Yeah, that loud scraping noise, that's coming from that dual clutch transmission. So we're going to be putting a new transmission in it, and it's a Niro, so it's a hybrid. That means we got to deal with hybrid systems and disabling, you know, electronical systems and stuff like that. And I know, you know, nobody cares about Kia Niro. Nobody cares about transmission. You know, why are we doing this? I don't have anything else. It's either don't make a video or make a video on this. So this is what I'm going to be doing. And y'all have seen me pull subframes and transmissions out and everything before, so I'm just going to get thrashing on it and just knock it out, you know, and get it done. The main thing is setting up the dual clutch system. So we've never shown that before. So I want to set up the dual clutch system, and I'll show you the procedure for adjusting the clutch actuator. You know, we got some medieval, you know, some kind of medieval torture device, you know, that's looking thing that will help you to adjust the clutch actuator. And we're going to get into that. We got to get this transmission out first. So let's get the medieval torture device out. All right, the first thing that I need to do is disable this hybrid system. And right here on this vehicle, and they're different, you know, depending on the year, depends on where the battery. So this vehicle has a lithium-ion 12-volt battery that is underneath the rear seat. It doesn't have your regular service battery in the trunk where you can disconnect. It doesn't have a battery up here because it's got this hybrid system right here. So what it does is it has a lithium-ion battery that sits under the rear seat. And in order to disconnect the battery, like you want to disconnect the negative battery terminal, well, that's right here. In this vehicle, it's right here. And I'm gonna just disconnect this connector. If I can get it disconnected, come on. There it is, right there. That one terminal, it's just a one wire. That's it, that's your negative battery terminal. In some of the vehicles, let's see, some of the Niros, and of course this one doesn't have it because it's got it up there, but in some of them there is an area right here in the trunk that you can pop open a cover, and there's that exact terminal sitting right there. But the actual battery is sitting underneath here. So that is how you disconnect the negative battery terminal. And then to disconnect the hybrid system, come on. It's this connector right here. I'm just gonna pull that up, and that's it. So before doing this, and I didn't show you this, because it's really hard to show the KDS screen and stuff like that. But before you do that, you need to hook up the KDS or hook up a scanner, go into the battery management system and look under the data for fused harness or fused connector being fused, not fused, but fused. So if the system were fused together, in other words, it had some kind of a problem, it had a little meltdown, and disconnecting this right here would not make any difference. It knows that, and it will tell you that information. That way you know before you try and disable this that it can't be disabled. And then, you know, we got to call in the fire department or whatever special team, you know, the blue guys, you know, come in and disable it for us. But I've already checked that. It's not fused. So we went ahead and disconnected the negative battery terminal, disconnected this, and now we're going to wait 5-10 minutes, and then I will check. We'll be pulling this off right here, and we'll be checking to make sure that we don't have any excessive voltage coming from the battery or in the hybrid management system. And once that's done, we can start draining the fluids and just get this thing out of here. So that's what we're going to do right now. I said fuse. What I should have said was weld. Okay, this is where we are going to check this. So, by the way, these gloves, they were last tested in November of 2023. So, yeah, they're expired. But, you know, I couldn't find any other ones. This Niro is a 2023, so, you know, that's good. But if I die, you guys will be the first to know. So I'm gonna set this thing to voltage. I don't know if y'all can see that. Voltage. And what we do is these leads, they have this little thing that extracts back, you know, on both of them. And the purpose of that is, you know, high voltage will jump terminals, so you don't give it the ability to jump is the idea. So I'm going to check this on this side right here, and I'm not sure if you can even see this. I'm going to check in there and right there, and what do I have? I got nothing. So I should have less than 30 volts, and I most definitely have less than 30 volts. I'm going to go from this one thing to this case here, and then from the other terminal to this case, and you can see it moving a little bit, but I don't have really any voltage, so it's a DC voltage. Now I'm going to check on the management system. I know y'all can't see this, I'm just checking these terminals right here, and the same thing, I got nothing. So just so that y'all can see this, I take these expired gloves off. So those two terminals right there, and these two terminals right here. So we're good. It's all good. So I'm gonna start tearing all this down. Just gotta get thrashing on this. Just gonna pull all this stuff out of here and pull the subframe and, you know, get the transmission out. You know, it's a dual clutch transmission. Let's just pull it out. Right in front of the dual clutch transmission. Let me get this glove off. Everything's falling now. Lost one of my lights. Okay, so right in front of this dual clutch transmission, you see this cable coming up right here and goes right here to the battery management system. That is the motor that drives it's the hybrid motor, and it sits in this plate right in front of the dual clutch transmission. So I don't believe we're not going to be pulling that thing off. We're going to be disconnecting the transmission from that. I think that's what's going to happen. So we'll see. I'm going to just start thrashing on this and start knocking it out, and we'll see what happens. this out right here. So I am, you know, of course, pulling this transmission off, and I haven't shown a whole lot of it because the whole idea, you know, wasn't just pulling the transmission out. So let me show you this. You've seen this. This is the double clutch set. So it's got the double clutch set in there. This is the bearing, double clutch set bearing. This is the medieval torture device that I was talking about, you know, that for setting up the actuator thing. Anyway, and this thing, it's really dirty. I mean, you see all the dirt all over. I got dirt and stuff all over me. You know, it's just a big mess. This right here, between this line and that line right there, is the hybrid motor assembly. It is bolted onto the transmission assembly and of course bolted to the engine. In between here there's a clutch, and there's a, this is the clutch actuator. It actuates the clutch. So there's a clutch, an automatic clutch. I mean, it's automatically controlled. It disengages the hybrid motor from the engine, so the engine can shut off and the hybrid motor can still spin, you know. So I didn't want to have to mess with that clutch. I didn't want to take the motor off. I just wanted to take the transmission off of the hybrid motor, which I believe I can do it. Kia wants you to take the whole thing apart. There's some bolts way up in there that I got to get out from this direction. You know, they wanted me to take these bolts out of here. If I can get that bolt out there, I might as well be able to get that one out there. I don't know, it's going to be kind of tough. This is a electric water pump I have to get off. Anyway, besides all that, the whole idea for me wasn't to show you replacement of the transmission. We are replacing the transmission, but the main thing was a double clutch setup, setting up a double clutch, putting a new double clutch into the new transmission, taking the actuator. So this is the actuator that works the double clutch. I can take that off and I'll show you. There's two push rods right here that work both clutches, you know, simultaneously. And this is what you need, that medieval torture device to get this adjusted properly, to go back, because there's wear on these old clutches. We're going to put new clutches in, so we need to move the actuators back to where they should be when the clutches are brand new, so that it can work properly. Anyway, all that being said, look at this. Here's the transmission, and I was told by the parts department that this is just a transmission. So here's the transmission, but if I look right here, there's a double clutch. There's a clutch pack is in it. The clutch pack is in there. And furthermore, the actuator, so I don't know if y'all can see that, the actuator, this is that black cover, and this is the actuator right here. So the actuator and the clutch assembly, they're all on it. And I was told by the parts department they didn't come with that, which is why we have this double clutch set up in this bearing. I don't need this because, you know, I don't need it. It comes with a new transmission. Parts department told me that it didn't, which is why we got that stuff. So that's got to go back to parts department. I don't need to set up the clutch, and that was the whole idea of this video. To me, it's not removing the transmission, it's showing how to replace the double clutch assembly, and using this medieval device right here to you know, measure and adjust that actuator. So I'm not even going to need to do that. I don't need this device. I don't need this. It all has to go back. So you know, I don't know. I still need to replace the transmission. So, you know, if you guys want to bug out and right now, I understand completely. I don't know, maybe I can come up with an idea to make the video interesting. I don't know. I have no idea. So I'm going to continue on. I don't have anything else. Today is Tuesday, and I need to get this video done and edited and put up on by Friday, and I have a whole bunch of other stuff that I do besides all this that, you know, takes up a bunch of time. So unless I come up with another video before Friday that I can edit and have in, this is it, or not do a video at all. It's just the way that it is. So, you know, I might come up with something hopefully better that I can put in this video. I don't know. Or, you know, not even show this video at all. Maybe there's something. I have no idea. I do know that I'm just going to continue on, and I'm going to try and get this. I'm going to try and get this transmission off without pulling the hybrid motor assembly, because I don't want to have to deal with that clutch that's in there. And that's it. And we'll see what happens if we stick around. We'll see what happens. So. Okay, let's go. All right, I am going to, instead of pulling these, hopefully you can see this. Yeah, you can see it. So instead of pulling these two big bolts out, I'm going to take these bolts right here, because then that gives me a lower profile or whatever. The transmission won't sit up so high in the back, and it'll be easier to take it off. Hopefully that's the idea. I got the floor jack underneath the transmission, so it should hold it up, hopefully. Come on. Okay. Set those aside. Move this out of the way. Pull this down, see if it pulls anything, see if anything breaks. Hopefully not. Going down. Okay, we got stuff making noise here. That seems all right for right now. Bring her down, bring her down. Okay, that's as far as it goes. That's okay. The thing that I'm worried about when I do stuff like this is like these hoses right here on the top. This is like your fuel line, and you know, I don't want to be pulling these hoses off. I got heater hoses in the back, other hoses, coolant hose, everything's good. This is the reservoir for that clutch. I disconnected it so it can sit down there. So now we can raise it up in the air and pull the transmission off. Okay, this is where we are. I believe I got everything off. I got one bolt right there, and everything else is off. There's a ground up here that I just took off that I didn't know was there. Hopefully I got no more of that kind of stuff. This is bolted to that, which is not coming off. This is part of this, and I got all this off over here. So we'll see what happens. Whenever last time that I was in a situation in a video and I said I only got one bolt, yeah, there was a hidden bolt. Whenever y'all seen me done this and I've complained, hey, all this stuff on the floor over here, you know, it's making it hard. What I'm always talking about is this right here. So this thing gets in the way, you know, so that's pretty much it. Let's see if I pull this bolt out. Let's see what happens. Transmission should just come right out of there. Real easy. Stop saying that. Yeah, real easy. Well, you said it was real easy. Well, yeah, I said it was real easy last time. Yeah, but there was a bolt that was stuck. Well, I didn't know that. Okay. So that came off and the transmission didn't move. Let's see if this will come off. I can see it kind of moving back and forth. What about this side? Yep. Okay. So it is splitting. It is coming off. Get a little bit of persuasion here somewhere, somehow. It's not like this transmission jack is that stable. Maybe I should let it down. Nope, maybe not. Let's bring it up, bring it up. Let's just get this in there. Okay, yeah, it's off. Okay, well then bring it down. Well, I'm trying to bring it down. I've got stuff on the floor in the way. Back it up, back it up. Bring it down, bring it down. Anything? Y'all see anything over there? I don't see anything over here. Let's keep bringing it down. Okay, yeah, there it is. Coming down. All right, here we are. There's the dual clutch assembly. Here's the back of the motor assembly. It's got a little pilot bearing right in there. The shaft to fit in there. We don't have any kind of major splines we need to get in there. Just these little teeth right here go into those right there, and that's it. So now I can get this moved over, get this transmission off of the stand, and get this new transmission out of here and put it all back in, I guess. That's pretty much it. And I told you I was going to take this cover off, so we'll take this cover off and we'll look at these. Okay, let's get this off. I don't have to take this off, but I just want to show it to you. So what we're looking at there is two different forks. It's a clutch forks, right? We got two of them. We got one actuator here, one clutch fork, one actuator here, another clutch fork. And the way that it is, one of them is odd and one of them's even. So the way the transmission works is you can be in two different gears at once. So you can be, for instance, you can be in first gear and second gear at the same time. Yeah, any other transmission, if you're stuck in first and second at the same time, the transmission ain't moving. It's not going to move. You're stuck. The transmission's jammed. Something's broke on inside. This one can be in say first gear and second gear at the same time. So what it does is whenever you put your foot on the gas, so what it'll do is it'll pull both of these back, right? It pulls, yeah, it pulls both of them back. It sets the thing in first and second gear at the same time. I can't remember which one is odd and which one's even. But so whenever you put your foot on the gas pedal, it will let out the, say, the odd one, which is first gear. So it lets out the odd one, it goes in the first gear. So you start to take off in first gear. Once your RPMs go up and it's ready to shift, it will pull in the first gear clutch and let out the second gear clutch, and now you're in second gear. As you're driving in second gear, the shift actuator up here shifts this thing into third gear. So now you're in second and third gear at the same time. Then when the RPMs go up and you're ready to shift, it will let out, it will pull in the second gear clutch and let out the third gear clutch, so then now it shifts in the third gear. So that's what it does. It just alternates first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth gear, I think. Anyway, and then it's the same with reverse. I think maybe the odd is also reverse, something like that. But in this guy over here, this actuator is basically the actuator that shifts, you know, the transmission into the gears. So it's a manual transmission that is automatically shifted. So you drive it, you think it's automatic transmission. As a matter of fact, in some cases they say the vehicle is an automatic transmission, but it's not. It's an automatically shifted manual transmission. So this thing is manual transmission through and through. It just, the way it's built with a dual clutch system, and it's actually kind of cool. It's you drive it like an automatic transmission, but it gives you the performance of a manual transmission. So, which is, it's really neat. I would take one of these any day over a CVT transmission. Yeah, I don't know who would rather have a CVT transmission. If you would rather have a CVT transmission than one of these, then run on down in the comments and let me know, because I mean, that's like driving a go-kart that slips, you know, CVT transmission. Yeah, Kia calls them IVT transmission, intelligent variable transmission. Anyway, let's get this transmission off of this jack stand and our transmission jack, and let's get the other one put in there. So let's go. All right, this is how I do this. So I got a chain hooked up to the lift, hooked up to the transmission. Gonna go ahead and lift it up and save my back. That is the way that you do it. So let's see what we got to take off of this thing. Come on. Every single tiny little itty bitty rock that's on the ground stops this thing from rolling. And every time that happens, it feels like the transmission is just going to fly off of it. What is going on with this thing? Anyway, let's look at this. Sorry about that. Okay, I got these little connector protector things right here. That one must have fallen off. We got this. Okay, so what is this? It's this one right here. What is this hooked to? We got that one. We got this bracket. That is this bracket right here. So this clips into there. It's really weird that it's not on there. And that's where that ground was that I almost forgot to take off, but I got it. Here's that other piece. Okay, what do we need to do? So what I want to do, so we got these two right here. Let's pull these out. Throw all that stuff in there for now. I want to break this open. This is the oil filler plug right here. And break it open and see if there's fluid in it, because I have no idea. supposed to be a reman unit. Reman units sometimes come with oil, sometimes they don't. Supposedly it wasn't supposed to have a clutch in it or actuator. It's got all that. Maybe it's a new unit. I don't know. So I'm gonna pull this open right here and see if I got any fluid in it. And I'm not gonna take it completely off, because if it starts to drip fluid, then it's probably fluid in it. And we'll get it in the vehicle. It's easier to put fluid in it right now than it is to do it once we got the subframe and everything on. But if that's the case, if there's no fluid, then probably what we'll do is put it in the vehicle, get it up in the right position, then we'll check the fluid, or put fluid in it before we put the subframe on, because it's just too hard to put it on. Is it possible? Yeah, of course it is, but it's really hard, you know, with everything in the way. So once you got the subframe on and once you got the axle in, it's just really hard to get to this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and crack it open right now and see if we got any fluid there. All right, let's open her up. Let's see, can I do this? Can I do it without dropping the thing? Okay, you know what? No, I cannot. I cannot do it without dropping it. It's like, well, you know, if you had somebody else hold it, then maybe you could take it off of there easier. No, I know, but I don't want to have to bother somebody else. I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can get off like this. Yeah, see, easy. Now fluid comes out, I gotta stick it back on really quick. I don't see any fluid. Yep, it's got fluid. It's got fluid in it. There, see, I'm gonna tighten it really good for the next person. So, it's got fluid in it. Let's get it in the vehicle. Okay, going up. The first stage of this thing is slow. When it hits the second stage, and that's when we get turbo boost. You'll see. We're coming up on the second stage. Coming up. It's coming up. Almost to the second stage. Getting to the second stage. And come on. Let's go. Second stage. There it is. Boom. Turbo boost. Okay. Line it up. Line it up. Don't drop it. If it falls, run. Get too close. Back it up. Lift it, lift it, lift it. You need to line it up perfectly. It does have a shaft that goes in the middle. Turn this, move it over, line it up. Way off over here. Come on, gotta back it up. Okay. Bring it up. You need to turn back this way, just a little, back in, bring it up. Nope, that ain't it. Up a little, angle, angle. What's it look like on this side? Looks like it's pretty even. Gotta check the harness on the top. Make sure I don't have a harness getting stuck between the motor assembly and the transmission. Gotta shake it, shake it, shake it. Push it, push it, push it. It's almost there. Down pin going in. Bring it back. That should be it right there. Come on. I may have to turn the crankshaft. So let me do that. Let me turn the crank. Grab a ratchet. Stick it on the crank. Get a bunch of dirt and stuff in your face. Turn it, turn it, turn it. there it goes. Perfect. The Eagle has landed. Okay, let me get these bolts in. Okay, that bolt that went on the opposite way that's up here that I had to deal with, it took me a long time to get the thing out. Even when it was loose, it wasn't loose. Well, I dealing with the same thing. The only thing is, couldn't find the bolt. I think this is it. I don't know where I put it. It wasn't with all the other bolts. And it's shorter than the rest of the bolts. I don't know if that was the way that it was. I can't remember. That's why you should always keep your bolts together and keep them in order, and I didn't do that. And then I found this one up on the roll around on the tool tray. It looks like that's the same size, but it's a little bit shorter. But when I put it in, it still has a long way to screw in there. So I think that's it. And it looks like it's an M10 bolt. I don't know. Anyway, it's going in. So I'm gonna be here a while. So. Okay, that right there is as far as we got today. So yeah, there's no subframe. The subframe's missing. So yeah, that's all we need to do is put the subframe in. It's already almost 6 o'clock. So that is all we're gonna do today. We'll come in tomorrow morning. It's probably gonna be late tomorrow morning, but we're gonna come in, put the subframe in, and I gotta get like 3 gallons of coolant. So I drained coolant from the engine system and coolant from the hybrid system. Get all that I'll put on after the subframe. Then we need to hook up, we need to get the high voltage system hooked up. We need to get the battery, 12-volt battery hooked up. And then we got a lot of programming to do because we need to get all the calibration done with the shifter, the shifting mechanism, and of course the clutch resolver and all that stuff. And we'll do all that programming and stuff, and then we'll see how it runs to see if it makes that noise anymore. And it better not. So I will see you tomorrow. Well, good afternoon. What? Yeah, I mean, it's practically afternoon, but you know, I had business, had meet with my business partner. Shop Foreman Garage is not just a YouTube channel, it is a business, although it's moving very slowly, and I'm not a full-time YouTuber, obviously. I got a job, but anyway, we're back on this. So we need to just install the subframe. We're pretty close. Install the subframe and get all that buttoned up and everything, get some coolant in it, in the engine and in the hybrid system, and we're going to do some calibrations and stuff, and hopefully this thing works. And I'll show you the calibrations as we go through, and hopefully everything works out. So let's go. Oh, you're taking my mop?
Yeah, I am.
How can you take my mop?
My mop. I claim it.
There's more than one shop mop. Hey, no bleach in this thing.
I'm about the dirtiest person in here, so that dirty water, that's mine, for sure.
Okay, yeah, you can have the water.
Okay.
I need to get back to work.
Good. Go to work. I'm about to nursing home.
Okay, I just wanted to show you this real quick. What did I do with it? Okay. I know we kind of went through this already, but I wanted to show you this is where you check and install fluid. It's way up in there. I got to use a wrench like this to get way up in there. There's not really much room or place that I can see to get in here. So you see my wrench. Way, if you can even see it. So anyway, you see some fluid right there. So I just wanted to show you that. I checked it, even though we checked it before we put it in the vehicle. I just want to check it and double check, make sure, you know, now that it's at the correct angle and stuff, but you can see how it's really hard to get in here with the subframe and everything. But I checked it, double checked it. It's full of fluid, so it's good. Let's get some tires on this thing, and then we're ready to put some coolant in it and move on. Okay, let's see where we are here. So, sorry about the wind noise and all that stuff. It's hot. I got the air flowing in this thing, so I'm vacuuming this system down. That's the engine coolant. This one right here, we don't have to vacuum down because we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use the water pump. It has an electronic water pump, and we're gonna use that to move the coolant around. So we'll get any air bubbles out like that, and I'll show you how we do that. The first thing I need to do is plug this in. So the hybrid system on, which doesn't actually come on till I plug this in. This is the negative battery terminal, believe it or not. Plug that in. I heard some clicking going on. I know it's hard to hear with the air going right there. So now, let's go in here and see if everything is off. Everything looks like it's off. Turn the key on. Make sure we're getting power. Yes, we are. Getting power to everything. So now I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, and I'll get the KDS hooked up to it, and we'll start putting coolant in the hybrid system.
You didn't know if we have a filter for the 134?
Gabe just asked me that yesterday.
Okay.
He asked me if I could help him change them. I'm like, sure, you got a filter. He's like, oh, yeah, go to parts and get a filter.
Okay, so
and then he never came back. So my guess is he went over there and they didn't have it. Hopefully they ordered one.
That's what they did yesterday. That's why I was wondering, you might know if we actually have one sitting around, so.
If we do, and we used to, every time we use one, they would replace one, it would be sitting in the Mazda parts department. Did they check? Probably not.
I think so. Just like I
Probably
asked
not.
Toby about those fuses. They didn't have them.
Yeah.
I asked Tris about those fuses. They had 2 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that obviously fits it. I put the 2 fuses on. I had to recalibrate the traction control, and it does have a TPS sensor out. But
Oh, okay.
we're at least worried about the TPS sensor.
Yeah.
Everything else, all the lights are off. Everything's good.
Okay, good. Cool.
Instantly took the brake lights off as soon as I put the fuse on. The only thing left was
Yeah.
traction control. I was like, nice.
All right. Cool.
Well, I appreciate you helping me, man.
Yeah, no
You know,
problem.
it's a simple fuse thing. It's something
Anytime.
Stupid.
Anytime. Hopefully it's always something stupid. That's the best thing. When it's something stupid is the best thing.
Yeah. We deal enough with the drama.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
Anytime, man.
Hey, I walked in here.
All right, I have the KDS here hooked up to the vehicle, and hopefully I can show you this. I am going into, what am I doing? Where am I going? Okay, I'm gonna go to software management, SW management. Let's see, we want to go into motor control, electric water pump control right there. Going to hit run. Wait a second, before I hit run, what we need to do, let's put coolant in it. So, let me get some coolant. Let's set that aside. Haven't put any coolant in it yet. Try and do it without spilling coolant everywhere. Yeah, probably not good to run this pump dry. Although I'm sure there's still coolant in the system somewhere. Still, not a good idea. Let's make sure that we get coolant in it first before we turn it on. And this is not a full gallon. That was just like a little bit. That was maybe a quarter of a gallon. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK on this thing. ECU is not responding. That's because I waited too long. Let me try it again. Hit OK. Come on. ECU is not responding. Cancel. Let me close. Let me go back into it. Is it plugged in? No, it's not. Okay. Let me show you this. So way down here, and this is not a high voltage. It's not a high voltage thing. It would probably help if this thing was plugged in, right? So, oh God, let me turn this off. Turn off the key before I plug it in. What am I doing? I'm trying to turn the pump on without having coolant in it, and then I'm trying to actually get communication to the thing. And I know y'all can't see anything here. Trying to get communication to the thing without actually having it plugged in. So it's just a test to see if you are paying attention. This, come on. Okay, I had it in place, but I didn't have the clip in the right way. Now I gotta put it back into place again. Get it on there, grab the thing, pull it up, push it into place, like that. Now it's plugged in. Anything else not plugged in? Okay, let's try this again. Turn the key on, hit that twice. Bring up the thing, and let's look at this and see if it works. See if this thing will actually stand. Right here. Going to go back into HEV motor. Pump, run, turn on, okay. It is communicating. Hit the OK button. This thing's gonna run until you tell it to. After 3 minutes, it will shut off. So it's going. Sometimes, let's see if I can put some coolant in this thing without it going all over the place. Okay, yeah, it needs more. Need to grab a funnel. I want to bring it up to the maximum amount. And I don't know if you can tell, but it is cycling, most definitely cycling through there. You can kind of see it moving around a little bit right here. So I'm gonna let that go, and the thing will shut off in 3 minutes, and then, or after it completely gone for 3 minutes, and then we'll see if it's below the maximum amount, then we may have to do it again or just put some coolant in it. Once we're done with that, then we'll get back into the system and we'll do all the calibrations and everything, and then we'll go drive it, take her out on the road, see how she performs, and hopefully we're done. So let's go. Okay, let's get into this. So I'm gonna go into software management, and I have my little cheat sheet here. When installing a new dual clutch transmission, need to clear the diagnostic trouble codes. I've already done that. What's the next thing? Perform the motor HSG resolver offset calibration procedure. So we're gonna go into motor control system and HSG, okay, control system, HSG resolver calibration, right there. It says it needs to be in park. Ready lamp on, ready lamp is not on, so basically that means I need to start it. So now the ready lamp is on. No DTCs, I already cleared the DTCs. Make sure the cooling fan's off. Hit run. And let's see how this works. So we never actually pulled the motor off. So we left the motor on the vehicle and we just pulled the transmission off, but this is what it says to do. It's in ready mode, high voltage battery, normal state, no DTCs, hit OK, calibrating. Following failure, clutch state error during resolver offset calibration, revert to maintenance manual. OK button for main screen. So let me figure out what's going on with this. Okay, I turned the camera off too soon. I went through the calibration and I just did it again, just try it again. The engine started up. Have to check the coolant, and if the coolant is full, we're still gonna have to go through that. So I'm gonna hit OK. The next part is the manual input function. So going to the dual clutch or double clutch transmission manual input function. So that says automatic transmission, but it is a dual clutch or double clutch manual input function. It's right there. So it says the engine off, ignition switched on, so I gotta turn the engine off, turn the key on, hit run, hit OK. Now this is has to do with the type of shift, the way that the thing is going to shift. All automatic transmissions have this. Why they have it on a dual clutch system, I have no idea. So there is a sticker on the back of the transmission, and I took a picture of it, and it looks like that. I don't know if you can see. So it's got like a QR code and a bunch of other stuff on there, you know. Anyway, so that is what I need to go by in this. So I'm gonna hit OK. It actually is gonna allow me to get that QR code if I can get it. Focus. Come on, focus. This thing's like backwards. Come on. Come on, focus on it, focus. It's not working very well. Come on. I try and pull it back. So now my phone. This is ridiculous. Maybe I should have taken a better picture. Focus on it. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do them manually. Would have been better if it had focus on it. So I'm gonna put in these numbers. Numbers and letters. D06. Okay, I hit enter. Test complete. Please wait 30 seconds after ignition off. I'll turn the ignition off. And then I'm gonna wait for 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds is up. Hit OK, turn the ignition on. Should have turned the ignition on first. Vehicle communication, done. Okay, moving on. Now, auto input function. So DTC learn function, manual function. Well, the auto function didn't work. We had to do the manual function. So now we need to perform the engine clutch learn procedure. We didn't pull the engine clutch apart, but we're going to go to that procedure. So we need to go to modular clutch actuator, engine clutch learning. Modular clutch actuator, engine clutch learning. When exchanging a part, in addition, clutch learning when exchanging the engine clutch set. So we didn't mess with the engine clutch at all. We didn't exchange a set part in addition to engine clutch set. Let's just go with replacement of engine clutch set. Okay, not ready, key on, go. We didn't mess with the engine clutch at all. We left it in the vehicle with the motor. So, but it says to do this calibration, so that's what we're gonna do. Hit OK. For clutch learning, the ignition on, brake on. Turn the ignition key on. HEV ready. Hit OK. Has been initialized. Position completed. Air and engine clutch line is being removed. So right now what it's doing is basically like if you were to be sitting here pushing your foot on the clutch, on and off of the clutch for the engine clutch. Don't know how long this is gonna take. Okay, I tried to turn the thing back on, but apparently the camera didn't want to come on. So it finally did its functions. Now it's saying just check the hybrid system. So it's having another issue. Check hybrid system. Of course, I am in a program, so that could be normal. They only got one more thing to do, and that is perform the SCU learning values clear using KDS. Go into SBW control unit, clear learning values. Oh, okay, so SBW. SBW, clear learning values, ignition on, engine off, turn this off, turn the ignition on, hit run, go. ECU is not responding, try it again. ECU is not responding. Check the data link connector. Yep, it's turned on. Okay, sorry about that. That last part right there didn't really need to do. I didn't read the thing. It was for reprogramming a special shifter, the dial type shifter. This one doesn't have it. That's why I couldn't find the module. Anyway, I was having another problem with a hybrid system malfunction coming online. What it was is the 12-volt system was overcharging, and that is because of this thing right here. I had the thing plugged in right here and here. If you wonder, it's like it has a lithium-ion battery. It sits underneath the rear seat. It's like, well, how do you jump start that thing? Well, right here, it has a thing where you can jump start it. You see on this, that little positive. And then I just hook it to the negative right here. So positive, negative over there. Also, what this thing will do is if it needed to be jump started, you're like out in the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden for some reason something happened, it has this little button right here. And what that does, that's the 12-volt battery reset. And it will use power from the hybrid battery to charge up the 12-volt battery. That's what it does. It uses a hybrid power, DC to DC converter, to charge that 12-volt battery. But it uses a hybrid battery to actually operate the starter generator, which is the starter anyway, you know, and that's uses the high-volt battery to operate that anyway. So basically it starts it for you and then it charges that battery. Of course, with the key on, it wasn't charging. The thing kept shutting off, so I had to stick this on here to get some power while we were doing the calibrations and all. And now this thing is stuck. Okay. Anyway, I have it running. And I'm just monitoring this coolant system right here. And I already hooked up the, put the engine undercover on and everything. So once I get this to operating temperature, everything's working fine. Then we'll just take her out on the road and see how she performs. So I'll just get through this right now. We are just getting out of the car wash and I'm gonna pull onto this thing. What is going on here? What is it doing? It says that I have low tire pressure in the left front tire, but I already aired up the tires, so it should fix itself in a second. Okay. I can already tell the noise is gone, because that thing was loud. I mean, it was really loud. Shifting good. I have no check engine light. Kind of had a little bit of harsh downshift. Let's see if that evens itself out. But I have no check engine light, nothing like that. I still have a TPMS light. It still says that my tire pressure is low in the left front. It says it's 33 PSI instead of 34. That should heat up, I would think, and go away. We'll see. Anyway, I'm stuck at a red light. Let's go. All right, here we go. Plenty of power, shifting good. I mean, you know, automatically shifted manual transmission, you know, gives you the convenience of an automatic transmission, but with everything that you want out of a manual transmission. You know, it's a nice solid shift. The only thing that I don't really like about them is they don't creep very well. So it's not like an automatic transmission. Let your foot off the brake and it takes a little while for it to start to go. But see, let's feel the downshift. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's running great, you know, for what it is. You know, the vehicle has 104,000 miles on it. Foot to the floor. Solid shift. Yeah. I mean, it's good. So, let's get back to the shop. Okay, there you go, guys. Kia Niro 2023 Kia Niro, 104,336 miles on it now. Hybrid, dual clutch transmission. I mean, I was hoping that I could show you how we set up the dual clutch system and do the actuation reset procedure and all that, but I mean, it was a brand new transmission and it came with a clutch pack and everything in it, so didn't really have to do that. It took long enough. It's just, I don't know why doing the transmission in this thing just seems like it just drained me for some reason. It's just more work. It doesn't seem like more work, but it just is. It just, I don't know, it is what it is. These vehicles run pretty good. I mean, seriously, for hybrid system, dual clutch transmission, it just seems like it's a good combination. You know, I mean, it's not a hot rod, come on, you know, it's a hybrid, but it runs pretty good. I appreciate you guys sticking around. I appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Man, look at this mess here. I gotta sweep this up. Somebody stole my mop.